morning. Today is September 5th, 2014, and this is Before the First Cup with Zori and Lady Pitbull on UCY.tv. Good morning, lady.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I got plenty of sleep.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah.
Good for sleep, man.
Yeah, tired when I got home. I laid down just for a few minutes. You know how that goes.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't...
Woke up at 3:30 in the morning, went, oh, God, and then went back to sleep and had a hard time waking up at 5.
Yeah, that doesn't really work too well with me.
I know, naps, some people, they can lay down for a half hour and they're fine. You know, they wake right up and they're going. Me, I lay down for a half hour, it's the whole night.
Oh.
And then that wake up, you don't know if it's night or day.
Right.
Because it's like 7 p.m. or something like that, and then it's dark, so you're going, is it morning, is it night?
I hate that, man.
Yeah. So how are you this morning? You doing good?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually doing okay. So, the darn, all those darn pop-ups are still plaguing me. So.
Yeah, we're going to have to work on that. I'll get on that thing after we get off air today.
Because I appreciate everything you did for me yesterday, let me tell you.
No problem. My pleasure.
Absolutely wonderful.
It's cooling off here at night. I actually covered up last night.
Hey, that's great. Like, what was it getting down to over the summer?
The coldest?
Oh. Well, no, like the warmest, like in the summertime it would get to what?
Oh, at night? Yeah, about 90.
Oh, God. Oh, my goodness.
You sleep with the fan on and no covers all summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet. I would, too. Jeez.
I remember one year, I was living in Chico at the time, and for a week, it never went below 100, even at night. And, I mean, you don't get no sleep. It's a miserable time.
Oh, my God. I couldn't even imagine doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think I could handle it.
You can. It's good. You're like me. I can't handle the humidity. I'm not used to it. You know, I didn't grow up in it all my life.
Yeah.
I don't see how anyone can handle it, even if they have grown up, you know, sweating their whole life.
Yeah. Well, it's better to have, like, 80 and humid than 100 and not humid, I think.
Well, you haven't been in dry heat, then?
No, I have never been. I've never even experienced it.
You'll have to someday, because it's really, I mean, most people, that's why they move west, I think.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. I've never felt that. People describe it to me all the time, but it's, you know, you can't.
Right, you know, until I went back east, I didn't know what humidity was.
Yeah, see. Yeah, that's harsh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
God.
An article caught my eye this morning, mainly because our government has become a government of blame someone else for everything. Mm-hmm. You know, now they're blaming the Islamic State using leaked Snowden info to evade U.S. intelligence, and I found that kind of humorous. Because here our borders wide open and they can come in anytime they want.
Right.
But yet they're going to blame Snowden for everything.
Right. I think he's just their little blame boy.
Yeah,
little scapegoat.
Yeah, whenever things get tough or they get questioned, then they always blame someone else for something.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying a former top official at the National Security Agency says the Islamic State terrorist group has clearly capitalized on the voluptuous leaks from former NSA contractor Edward Snowden and is exploiting the top secret disclosures to evade U.S. intelligence. Bottom line, Islamic State killers are harder to find because they know how to avoid detection. Well, you know, again, the border is wide open.
Yeah, does that mean they know how to cross an open border too? That's not too freaking hard.
Right, you know.
Really?
Right.
Well, we know how to avoid detection. All we got to do is just walk across the border.
Yeah, you know, I mean, what's the big thing here? You know, they're saying because he lit out info on how they eavesdrop on things, and they're saying it's not about privacy, it's about, you know, protecting the U.S., but anyway, the article just caught my eye, and I just had to kind of giggle because...
Well, I can guarantee you, IS is the Islamic State is not the one spying on us.
Right, you know.
I mean, it's just a load of bullshit.
Oh, I know. They come up with so many excuses or blame someone else. You know, so if we get invaded by ISIS, you know, if they come here and blow up some cities or something, it's going to be Snowden's fault, not their fault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's what they got to do. They've got to, here comes the plausible deniability we always talk about.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
Every time.
Yeah, because they're not doing their job.
Right.
You know. I mean, they probably were getting some heat for not, you know, protecting the border, and that's why they came up with this to, you know, deflect whatever accusations go towards them.
Yeah, exactly. And you notice how it's so damn weak and full of freaking holes? I mean, that's how it is every time. It's like they pull these excuses straight out of their bud holes. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's like, oh, what other piece of crap can you come up with today, dude?
Right, they never think of the consequences of their actions, and then plus, we never hold them accountable to anything. Right. So, you know, they think we believe everything they put out there, and some people do.
Oh, some people do. Some actually, I would say most people do. Most people like won't. You know, they won't. I don't know, they won't investigate anything, or, you know, they just, if it's not on the news, it's not real. You know what I mean?
Right, you know,
or it's not on TV, it's not like, well, you're just making it up, you're a conspiracy theorist, you know?
I think most people do get it, but they don't give it that much importance in their lives.
Right.
No, because, I mean, you'd have to be, I mean, even little kids can see it. It's so blatant out there now.
Well, I was talking to my dad yesterday, and I was telling him, I'm like, Dad, you know this border's wide open. I mean, he lives down south, so I was like, dude, you know this freaking border's wide open, and you know that they're running around threatening the U.S. and England. You know this is happening. Come on, and here comes 9/11. I'm a little worried that something's going to happen. You know what I mean? He's like, there's nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. They're not going to get you. And I'm like, look, you know, it's not about getting me personally. It's about them messing with the grid. You know what I mean? Messing with the grid, and if the grid goes down, yeah, you damn right I'm going to be affected, and so is everybody else. So, I mean, that's all they got to do. They don't have to do much to screw the country up. To like Hammy was saying the other day, it's not going to take very much to make the grid go down.
Oh no! I mean, you know, just like, well, I lost power. Day before yesterday because of a fire. I mean, it's really vulnerable.
Oh yeah, and you never. It's. Oh my God! I just clicked in the chat room to reply to poor Joe Friday, and here comes more pop-ups.
Yeah, we got to get rid of those.
That's okay though. Just have to suck it up.
Suck it up.
Are you?
It's Friday. Suck it up.
It is. Damn it. Suck up all that booze. I'm not really a booze hog anymore. God, I don't know. So, do you want to continue with the article, or are you done?
No, I just found it. You know, it more or less says that what everybody already knows. You know, it's just an excuse. But I just found it comical this morning because.
Yeah, you know. Absolutely. Well, remember what we were saying yesterday, that about the Ebola. Yeah. See, let's see. They. Now, remember we were saying that it was already on our shores? It was already here. Well, listen, everybody knows, well, especially everybody that listens to this radio station, everybody knows that by the time they announce it in the news, it's already here.
Mm-hmm.
So I found one. It says Ebola could reach the U.S. by the end of this month. By the end of the month.
Oh, God.
Yeah, sure. That means it's already here, people. Okay? There's just a slim little 18% chance. Yeah, sure. That a case of the Ebola virus will reach the United States by the end of September, according to a study published Tuesday in PLOS Currents Outbreaks? I don't know what the hell that is. Despite restrictions reducing travel in and out of the infected countries by 80%, don't you think they should have 100% restriction?
Well, and besides that, they brought that one doctor back, they said had it, and released him within 24 hours.
Exactly. All it takes is one person to spread this shit. Believe me, I mean, they're not even, I don't know, they want it to spread. This is obvious to me. Okay, it says the study, which analyzes global flight patterns, suggests that a case of Ebola in the U.S. is becoming increasingly harder to avoid. Aw, do you think?
Yeah.
Talk about stating the obvious. It also lists the chance of the virus spreading into the United Kingdom between 25 and 28%. So hey, they're more likely than we are. And I don't believe any of these numbers that they ever throw out either. The analysis also warns that if the current West African outbreak is not contained, the likelihood of the virus reaching Europe in the U.S. will increase consistently. Oh, really? Wow. That doesn't really take a mathematician to figure that shit out.
Right, and they're bringing another doctor in.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
It says the study lists just a 5% chance of Ebola occurring in the U.S. today. Really? Suggesting that the disease is far from contained in countries in West Africa. According to numbers obtained by the World Health Organization, there have been an estimate 3,685 cases and 1,841 deaths from the virus since the outbreak began. Wow. So this is like tripled, guys.
I have a problem with their numbers, just like I did.
Too.
Well, you know, they have this habit of doing the same scenario over and over, and it always, in my mind, goes back to that big scare from Mexico, when it was all just propaganda. You know, one person, I think, had that swine flu, and, you know, they started those forced inoculations then, and I see that coming, too.
Here is what you were just talking about. Yeah, I see that too. You know what I mean? It's I agree. It says, although two Americans, Dr. Kent Brantley and Nancy Whitebull, has been treated for Ebola in the U.S. Both of them contracted the diseases while working in Liberia. Doctors suggested that better medical care contributed to their eventual recovery. A third infected American working in Liberia, Dr. Richard Sacra, is on the way to the U.S. for treatment. So there you go.
Yeah, you know, and then gets released right away. I mean, is it that easy to cure? If it's that easy to cure, why aren't they curing those people in Mexico? I mean, in Africa.
Well, because it's part of population control, and they don't really want to cure them too much.
Right, and they're not telling us how they cured them or what they did.
Right, and when they do go into the hospital when they're really, really sick, they're not feeding them, they're not giving them water, so they're dying within 4 days. You know, I mean, they're out to kill people. I mean, that's why the guy was wandering around in the first place, because he was trying to look for food, for God's sakes.
Yep.
It's like, screw this. Yeah.
And, you know, that patent of when, God, it was years and years and years ago that we developed the Ebola. You mean they haven't been doing anything since then to use as an antidote, since they knew all along how deadly it was? There's just so many questions.
Oh, I know. So ridiculous.
Yeah, and well, on health, did you see now a rare virus might be causing Central Ohio kids respiratory illness?
Interesting, because there's a lot of people that have been dying from this respiratory thing going on. I knew somebody that died 2 weeks ago now.
Think chemtrails.
Yeah.
And everywhere that they spray heavy, they have huge amounts of people having respiratory diseases.
It's way up. The numbers are way up on that, but they're not going to tell us those numbers.
And it's going to have to start affecting people's health. I mean, look how many years they've been spraying openly now.
Yes.
Since 2000. That you can know. That's when I first noticed it. And all that every day coming down, it's got to start. People are going to start dying much more often of respiratory and Alzheimer's now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think we're just going to be seeing just this rapid increase. Absolute rapid.
Yeah.
You going to read that story?
Yeah, I will. Unusually high levels of respiratory illness have been reported this week in National Children's Hospital emergency departments, and samples are being sent out for testing to see whether a rare virus might be to blame. Obviously, it's a concern, Why do these doctors have weird names? Mycekia Williams Roberts, medical director and assistant commissioner at Columbus Public Health, said the volume of respiratory cases, what we are experiencing, is unusual for us this time of year. Last week, respiratory symptoms were the chief complaint of an average of 52 patients per day in the hospital emergency department. From Sunday through Tuesday of this week, respiratory symptoms were the chief complaint of the average of 73 patients per day, a 40% increase. Some of those illnesses might be cases of human enterovirus 68, Roberts said. That virus apparently has sickened dozens of kids in the Kansas City, Missouri area in recent weeks. That's strange that it only affects the kids, huh? Nationwide children's officials said they hope the Center for Disease Control and Prevention can confirm whether any of the local hospital's patients with respiratory problems are HEV68 cases. It wasn't immediately clear how many of National Children's recent cases of respiratory illness might be caused by HEV68, nor was it clear how many possible HEV68 cases resulted in hospitalization. The hospital is testing only severely ill patients for the virus, which usually is not fatal but can cause wheezing and shortness of breath. There is no vaccine. Maybe we're lucky. Columbus Public Health said typical precautions help to prevent the spread of the virus, including washing one's hands before touching eyes, nose, or mouth, and avoiding kissing, hugging, and sharing eating utensils with those who might be infected. Disinfect surfaces also is prudent. HEV68, first isolated in California in 1962, was a unique enterovirus that shares characteristics with human rhinovirus. The hospital yesterday had not implemented visitor restrictions, the spokesperson said. They are common during the winter season flu season. The spokesman also noted that the visits to emergency departments and urgent care centers sometimes increase when school resumes. So that's not really no big story. I mean, it sounds like, the common cold almost, that settled in into the bronchial tubes or something.
Yeah. Well,
school just started.
Thing is that for I don't know, I've been hearing about people just. It happened to Shali's friend, and it's happened to somebody from high school, a friend of mine, her sister. She just went into a respiratory distress episode, and her lungs closed, and she couldn't get air to the brain for 6 minutes. Oh, wow. And this is happening all over the place. and it's happening to elderly people, and now here we're hearing children now. So it's a big deal, I think.
Oh yeah, Clifford Connicom.
Yeah.
He has been noting the increase in respiratory diseases across the world, global, and in Alzheimer's because of the aluminum getting past the brain barrier. And it's just been, if you've been watching, it's been a steady increase, up and up and up. And, this didn't really start occurring until they started really pumping up the spraying of these chemicals in our air.
Yeah.
And anyone who thinks this isn't hazardous to their health is living in a fantasy world.
Hey. Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely living in a fantasy world.
And all these cancers, and I mean, a lot of it has to do with our food, but our food and our air, our main sources of living, is being horribly attacked. And more people are waking up to it, but we still don't know, what organization or what is really behind it. And I have to have a lot of money to fly these planes all over the world every day. So but to find the source, I mean, it's so tight-lipped, and the excuses they come out with are just so far-reaching.
You're right.
That a kindergartner could see through them.
Oh, sure.
And, yeah,
absolutely.
But people, they better wake up to this, because you're going to be seeing more and more people are going to be dying from it, and almost always bronchial and Alzheimer's. They, relate to everything that they're spraying, each chemical that they're spraying that we know of. We don't even really know, I don't think, just how many chemicals they are spraying.
No, I know that when they spray it like two different levels in the atmosphere, and there's the ones that get sprayed on the lower levels of the atmosphere are kind of dark, and they kind of look like dark clouds sometimes, and that is full of mold and stuff. I know that.
Yeah,
I've heard
and fungus.
Carnicon say that. Yikes! Oh, Rama! I can't even keep the chat room open.
Yeah.
Let's see. But the ones that are above, at the higher levels, that's all the aluminum and the barium and all that crap. And all of that is contributing to respiratory distress. Your lungs just
all the other, our daily cleaning, bleach, and all those go into our lungs also. Even just when you're spraying stuff to clean off a counter, you're still breathing in the vapors from all those chemicals too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm that's what I do for a living. I'm a cleaning woman, so
I try to it all the time. You should get those little white masks and use them when you're doing that.
Oh yeah,
all adds up.
I clean a gym, and you can't just use mild cleaners or organic cleaners or things that don't have any chemicals in a gym. You've got to use heavy industrial stuff because of the MRSA and stuff like that that's prevalent around a gym, and you got to kill that crap. So every time I use this heavy duty chemical that's there, I get a headache.
Well,
you know what I mean? Every time. So I have to use gloves and a mask.
And that's good that you do, but there are, that peroxide, what is it? I forget the amount,
yeah, it's that really high amount of hydrogen peroxide. I should locate some of that. I don't know where the hell to find that.
Get it at a health food store, and I'm sure you can find it online. And it goes a long, long ways because you have to dilute it down to 35%. Otherwise, it would just burn you.
Yes.
But it really, that's what I clean all the fruits and vegetables that I pick. I clean them all with that.
You get it at a health food store?
Uh-huh.
What's it called?
It's a hydrogen peroxide food grade.
Oh, food grade. Okay, maybe I can put that in a search engine.
Yeah, and it's really worth it. I mean, it's not cheap, but I use it on everything. You know, I clean my counters with it, and you can also use it as a detox. You dilute it down.
Okay.
And yeah, I've known people that for years have used it, and I can't remember the percentage now. For some reason, 9% volume, or is that the regular? I can't remember. But anyway, it's great for everything. And I noticed we haven't been getting colds or anything like that since I've been using it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way to go then for me, because it's hard for me to use this freaking cleaner that they've got, man. Ugh.
Oh, I know. Some of them make me so sick I can't stand. I can walk into a house if someone's used that green cleaner or whatever. It makes me deathly ill.
Simple Green?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That stuff, man. I know as soon as I walk in a house if somebody's used it and I leave right away.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, and then you put on top of that the chemtrails, and then the pollution from cars and everything. It's got to be having an effect on the human body.
Absolutely.
Normal. But we're going to see a lot more of it too. I have a feeling that, you know, especially young people, like this is affecting mostly young because they're still developing.
Oh yeah, that's the really bad thing about it.
Yeah, more and more things are coming up that baffle doctors, but I think it's all been, you know, organized, and it's all going by design, everything that's coming around.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously they want the Islamic groups in this country because, to tell you the truth, they're not doing anything to stop it. In fact, they're encouraging it.
They are. They absolutely are encouraging it. And let me get this thing out of here. I don't know if this is what's sending my computer into a tizzy. Let's see here. I'm gonna, since we're kind of coming close to the 11th here, I'm gonna kind of sidetrack us off this subject.
Yeah, it is a concern to a lot of people, I think.
Oh, absolutely. It should be. It says, top CIA officer in Benghazi delayed response to terrorist attack, U.S. security team members claim. So now, the people who, well, didn't get killed there, you know, they're actually coming out now and saying this top CIA officer ordered to stand down. So this is, we kind of all were saying this since the get-go, but, you know, a year later it's got to come out, and no heads are going to roll, nobody's going to be held accountable. So here it goes. It says a U.S. security team in Benghazi was held back from immediately responding to the attack on the American diplomatic mission on orders of the top CIA officer there. 3 of those involved told Fox News' Brent Baer. Their account gives a dramatic new turn. It's not a new turn, people. To what the Obama administration and its allies would like to dismiss as an old story. The September 11th, 2012, well, that's 2 years ago, sorry. 2012 attacks that killed U.S. Ambassador Christopher Stevens and 3 other Americans. Those 3 other Americans, I think, were Navy SEALs, if I'm not mistaken. Speaking out publicly for the first time, the 3 were security operators at the secret CIA annex in Benghazi. In effect, the first responders to any attack on the diplomat compound. Their first-hand account will be told in a Fox News special airing on Friday night. So it's tonight at 10, actually, if anybody wants to look at that. Probably not. However, the thing is that I'm not reading, but this is encouraging to me that these CIA guys are coming out with all this now because it shows that there's actually some good people still left in these high positions. So that's encouraging to me.
I don't know. Why did it take them 2 years to come out and say something?
Well, obviously, how do they threaten whistleblowers to begin with? They threaten your family. They threaten, your pensions. They threaten everything. They threaten your livelihood. They threaten. I mean,
right.
threatening their families. I'm sure of it. I mean,
well, yeah, but then all of a sudden, now they're coming out with this. And I don't know. Well, we know that that one, I can't remember his name, was given orders to stand down, and he went against those orders, and it was because of him, I can't remember his name, that some of those people were saved, or none of them would have if he hadn't gone against the orders.
Against the orders, yeah, exactly.
Right, and he ended up being killed. And, so that's already been out there. I don't know if that's been out mainstream enough. But you know what's really funny here? It's not funny, but the person responsible for all this, who was in charge and who was the head of protecting them, might just be our president in 2016.
Let's see.
It's like all it takes to become police officer of the year is to kill someone, or if you want to become president, just don't do your job as Secretary of State and let people die. Because then, why don't people think of these things when they're going to the voters' booth? Where the person that we put as president might have been the one that said, "Well, what does it matter now?"
Well, we know Hillary already said that.
Well, that's who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Look, she's running for president, and she hasn't even testified because she had that fall and hurt her head, and then she was never brought back out to talk.
Of course not.
It's crazy. But these people coming out and talking now, I'll wait to hear what they have to say. But if it doesn't coincide with that guy that ended up dying, that saved those people, they're being told what to say.
Oh, absolutely. Well, here it is. It says, based on the new book, 13 Hours, Inside Account of What Really Happened in Benghazi by Mitchell Zuckoff, with the Annex security team, the special sets aside, the political spin that has freighted the Benghazi issue for the past 2 years, presenting a vivid, compelling narrative of events from the perspective of the men who wore the boots on the ground. Well, dude, really, that's weird, because why are you going to wait till you write a book about it?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that's the way to do it, actually, is to write the book so they can't,
Wait, they approved the book. That book does not go into print until it's approved.
Right.
And then they make changes however they want in the book before they approve these books, if you have anything to do with government.
No, it is. That's true. All right, the security contractors, Chris Tanto Paranto, Mark Osgeis, and John Teagan spoke exclusively and at length to Faux News about what they saw and did that night. Faux News chief political anchor asked them about one of the most controversial questions arising from the events in Benghazi. Was help delayed? Word of the attack on the diplomatic compound reached the CIA annex just after 9:30 p.m. Within 5 minutes, the security team at the annex was geared up for battle and ready to move to the compound 1 mile away. 5 minutes, we're ready. They were ready in 5 minutes, said Paranto, a former Army Ranger. It was thumbs up, we're ready to go. But the team was held back. According to security operators, they were delayed from responding to the attack by the top CIA officer in Benghazi, who they refer to only as Bob. Oh, poor Bob. You son of a bitch. It had probably been 15 minutes, I think. I just said, hey, we need to get over there. We're losing the initiative, said Teagan. And Bob just looks straight at me and says, stand down, you need to wait. We're starting to take calls from the State Department, guys, saying, hey, we're taking fire. We need you guys' help here. We need help, said Paranto. After a delay of nearly 30 minutes, the security team headed to the besieged consulate without orders. They asked their CIA superiors to call for armed air support, which never came. So here we go. Now looking back, the security team said they believed that if they had not been delayed for nearly a half hour, or if the air support had come, things might have turned out differently. Ambassador Stevens and Sean Smith, they would still be alive, my gut says. Parantos and Tegan concurred.
That question has to be answered, and by that one that told them to stand down. Where did that order come from? No one's ever heard where the order came from.
Right. Well, obviously the Justice Department. That's freaking obvious to me. All right. So Tegan concurred. I strongly believed if we had left immediately, they'd still be alive today. He added. There were no orders to anybody to stand down, were, in a statement to Fox News, a senior intelligence official insisted that there were no orders to anybody to stand down in providing support, which is bullshit.
That's a lie.
Yeah. Bear put that assertion... I'm sorry, guys. My computer's going nuts. It's very hard to read. Oh, come on. Here's this. It's just right directly over it. Okay. You use the word stand down. Bear put that assertion directly to the operators. You use the word stand down, Bear noted. A number of people now, including the White House Intelligence Committee, insist no one was hindered from responding to the situation at the compound. What do you say to that? No, it happened, said Tegan. It happened on the ground. All I can talk about is what happened on the ground that night, added Paranto. To myself, and to Tig once. It happened that night. We were told to wait, stand down, and stand down. We were delayed 3 times. In a statement to Fox News, a senior intelligence official did allow that the security team was delayed from responding while the CIA's top officer in Benghazi tried to rally local support. It's such bullshit.
Right. Why would anyone tell a unit to stand down when Americans were being fired upon?
Right, exactly.
What possible reason could anyone come up with that they would be told that?
Because they wanted a death toll.
And they say that it was to cover up the arms being delivered to Turkey.
Absolutely. They needed Ambassador Stevens dead. Mm-hmm. Because he, loose lips sink ships, so you better, eliminate the problem there.
And too, I think the reason this is coming out now, too, is because they're getting that special committee together. What's his name? Gowdy is getting a special committee together that will have subpoena abilities and all to get down to the heart of what happened in Benghazi. And that's probably why this is all coming out now, because they're supposed to, I think it's supposed to start up the end of this month or the beginning of next month.
Right.
So, it has more power than just a committee to investigate. They have subpoena power and they can subpoena documents and a lot of things. And I think this has the government very nervous.
Oh man, I just
do what?
I just lost all these articles. Shoot. I'm sorry.
That's okay, no problem.
It's alright. It's just very, very annoying. I had a bunch of them up here. Ugh.
How can anyone trust in this government? Look at how many scandals are going on right now. There's
God.
The IRS, there's Fast and Furious, there's Benghazi, and none of them have any answers, and no one has been held accountable for any of it.
Nope. It's all a bunch of gates. Like I always say, Benghazi gate, IRS gate. I mean, she's really.
Why doesn't anyone? Hillary's out on the campaign circuit. Why doesn't anyone ask her about this? Why doesn't anyone?
Well, because they're paid press, and if you're paid press, you are only paid to ask certain questions and evade other questions. That's what being the press, part of the mainstream media press is all about.
But if there's no real journalist out there that will step out of the box and just ask the question, that's hard to believe it's just weird.
Absolutely. Yeah. We know what the hell really happened. And, really, the alternative media the whole time has been saying exactly what those guys just said. Since, day freaking one, it was obvious as to what happened. So, this crap is...
Yeah, I would like to hear their answer on why they would be told to stand down. Where is the reasoning? Because someone had to give that order.
Sure. It was the Justice Department. It came from the Justice Department. That's where the order came from. Did
it go higher than that?
What's higher than the Justice Department, really?
Okay, the Secretary of State, that was Hillary. They're in charge of the embassies and stuff. And why were all the requests for more protection ignored? And that was Hillary's personal friend.
Oh, yeah. Well, personal friend. Yeah, well.
How about the Clintons' friends? They all seem to die mysteriously.
That's right. That's what they do to their little buddy friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see if they really do bring out anything in this new investigation. I like Gowdy. He really asked tougher questions than any other congressman that I've ever listened to. He comes right out. And I don't know if that's show or what, but he asks the questions no one else does.
Yeah, well, he should. That's his freaking job. And if all these freaking congressmen and senators would do their damn jobs, which they don't, then, all this corruption wouldn't be running rampant.
Mm-hmm.
And just out of hand. Come on. Don't even get me started on the IRS crap. Because it just makes me so freaking angry. I can't even stand it. And
there's obvious guilt there, and now they've found some emails that say that they're guilty, but but nothing happens. That's what gets me the worst. Why even have a special committee to investigate anything when no one ever gets held accountable, even if they're found guilty? It's all about, we were doing this so it won't happen again. Well, the fact that it happened the first time and someone's guilty of it.
The thing is that they're still continuing with those practices. They're still going to people's homes at gunpoint and taking their freaking property. They're still looting people's bank accounts.
Yep.
Just pell-mell looting of the American people. And
so that's even a lie. They don't do it to stop it from happening again.
No, they do it so that it sets a precedent so that nobody ever gets held accountable, and they can keep doing it and actually ramp their shit up of illegal crap that they're doing, because that's why they do it. They do it so that they can test the waters to see what the reaction of the American people are going to be, and they've got their reaction. It's like, oh.
Right.
And that's it. That's all you get out of anybody. Ew.
Yeah. Or I know. That too, because, I'll tell somebody something, and they'll go, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but what can you do?
Yeah, what do you do? Well, I'll tell you what you do. You freaking start, never mind.
Well, it's like you're at the house. We get a lot of good conversations going here and bringing out facts and stuff. But I know as soon as they leave my house, they forgot it.
Right.
And it blows my mind.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, that's the typical American attention span. Due to all the chemtrails, chemicals, and pharmaceuticals, and bad diet. I mean, we are rotting from the inside out, people, and they're causing the rotting. And guess what? They've got the cure for the rot from the inside out, and in the form of freaking nanotech robots and shit that we always talk about on this network, on this show. So, you know, I don't know. It's very difficult to say the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah, but then sometimes they'll say, well, what can we do? What's your solution? And you know what? I'm usually stumped. Because in order to have a solution, you have to have a large mass of people.
Right, and people that are aware of the problems.
Right, and come together. Now, everybody uses the internet instead of actually coming together in one place to talk. So how do you organize or well, I mean, it was, I don't know, the media helps a lot, like that geoengineering meeting we had here. I mean, the turnout was astronomical. But why can't we pull people together, you know, to get some of the other things done too?
I agree with that.
And that's the most frustrating part of this to me, is kind of like those committees they have in Washington. We talk, and we talk, but we aren't physically doing anything hardly.
Right. Here's something. I mean, and this kind of sort of dovetails with that last article that I read, because what it's going to take is for people that actually experience the stuff, like the boots on the ground people, to actually come out and to actually, you know, come out and become whistleblowers. I mean, we need for that to happen in order for people's awareness to be heightened, so to speak. But I'm telling you,
but you're asking them to give up their life, because this country is the worst on whistleblowers.
It is. But I've got another article here that a CDC whistleblower just came out, and actually he said that mercury does cause autism, and the CDC covered it up.
Oh, I heard something about that. Yeah, is that article there?
It's right here. It says, Dr. William Thompson, a CDC scientist, asserts that there is a connection between mercury with thimerosal, that's thimerosal, in vaccines and autism. It says, in an explosive video, which we can't play, that's why I'm reading it, an explosive video is posted at autismmediachannel.com. On the homepage, CDC whistleblower William Thompson on thimerosal. That's what the CDC whistleblower William Thompson on thimerosal. That's what the video is entitled. People, if you want to go and check this out yourselves. Beyond admitting to fraud, in 2004, CDC study exonerated the MMR vaccine. Dr. William Thompson, a CDC scientist, asserts that there is a connection between mercury, thimerosal, in vaccines and autism. Thompson states that giving a vaccine containing mercury to a pregnant woman is something he would never do. Couched in science speak, Thompson winds up his remarks with this: there is a biologic plausibility. There's a biologic plausibility right now to say thimerosal causes autism-like features. See, there's that plausibility again, guys. It says, for a scientist at the CDC to make this admission after millions and millions of dollars have been spent by that agency and the U.S. government to conclude mercury has no connection to autism is extraordinary, to say the least. Absolutely. Thank God this guy freaking got this, out there. Let me tell you, the PR mantra declaring thimerosal safe has been repeated thousands of times by major media outlets, and is now a researcher, and now a researcher on the inside has repudiated it. Experts and other con artists will try to parse Thompson's words, but the meaning is clear. Only a mindless idiot or an overt killer would inject a vaccine containing mercury into a human being. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. All you freaking doctors out there, you guys are freaking overt murderers, overt killers, and mindless idiots out there. Hello. Meanwhile, the major media blackout on Thompson's revelation continues. The collusion in a vast crime is their mission. Absolutely.
Well, you know what? Anyone who wants to, you should go in and listen to Gary Null, N-U-L-L. Mm-hmm. When he spoke in front of the committee, he went in there with so many facts about vaccines. I mean, this man is adamant. And still nothing gets done. And he gave them scientific proof and everything. And doctors, what doctor, what person that went through high school doesn't know how damaging mercury is to the human body, especially a developing fetus or a young infant?
Absolutely. And believe me, this thimerosal crap is in all of the vaccines.
Right.
All of it. I mean, why would they, if it wasn't in all the vaccines, why in the hell would they put it in one and not the others? Really? Come on.
Well, yeah, they're saying it's a preservative, but you know what? I mean, I've seen videos and scientific facts where they have the cells, from people, and they put just a teeniest drop of mercury in the dish, and all the cells just start withering to nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the amalgams in most people's mouth, mine included, are made of mercury.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. It's a gift that keeps on giving, is what it does. It's not. When you grind your teeth together, or when you drink something hot, little bits of mercury from your teeth expel into your body, and it's something that happens throughout your lifetime. Like, the first chance I get, I'm getting rid of this stuff. But it's going to cost so much money to do it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People can't afford this crap. I wish my mother had been aware of it, back when they gave us a child. I was a child when this crap went into my mouth. I mean, the damn dentist should have been
look,
Huh?
That was before anyone even thought to look at it.
Yeah, nobody. Oh, they're not going to put. Why would the dentist give us something that's bad for you? Why would the doctors give us? They're doctors. They've got some kind of Hippocratic oath now. You know what I mean?
They used to,
but they used to.
They do that more. Too. I have a video where on the news, the newscaster actually did a piece on saying, well, remember how we used to think mercury was bad for us? Well, now they have found that it is actually good for children growing up to have small amounts of mercury in them. I have the video, and this was on television.
Yeah. It was a newscast.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Jones Incorporated plays it all the time.
Yeah, and people should pay attention to that. Everyone needs to see that video. Everyone with a brain that made it past 8th grade. For them to turn around and say that mercury's good.
I know. Yeah, it's horseshit. I'll tell you right now, I can't even.
We're doing this to our
And the thing
children.
is, they're doing it to their own kids, too. How much you want to make a bet?
I bet you anything. Most doctors do not get their kids vaccinated.
Some do. Some do. And nurses out there that don't know any better, they get their kids vaccinated. You know what I mean? Most people who have their kids in school get their kids vaccinated. It's I guess that the number is 1 in 56 now.
Well,
56 kids.
Autism.
1 in 56 kids gets autism.
And even Kennedy, one of the Kennedys, he's out there also. You know, I see him on different videos. I see him giving speeches and everything about how vaccines are killing our babies. I mean, killing them. And then autism, it's a direct link. There was no autism around when I was a kid.
Right.
Not even when my daughter was young. You know, and how many injections do we give our babies by the time they're in school? 56 different vaccines go into them.
Yeah, that is
right when
absolutely astronomical. Astronomical.
And why would you give a hepatitis shot to a newborn before they even leave the hospital?
Yeah. I mean, what the hell? It just immediately goes into that little tiny sponge brain of theirs. It's sick. And also, and you know, I live here now with a midwife. She also, the ultrasounds that are given to mothers, you know, to look inside or whatever.
Right.
A buddy of mine they got one ultrasound, and he was watching it very, very closely because he did not want this to even happen in the first place, because he knows what the hell is the deal. But his wife insisted that one ultrasound isn't going to be that bad, but he literally saw the baby's head cave in and wave. There was like a big wave when the ultrasound wave went through. He saw the wave go right through the baby and literally went whoop. Well, and he saw the head collapse a little bit, and it freaked him out. He was freaked out after that. He was freaked out for a week. I remember that distinctly. He was like totally like going, "Oh my God, I wish I'd never done that. Oh my God," you know.
Well, right, when you put something strong enough to project an image right against the skin, you know, it's like these women that go in and have the breast exam where they put you in that machine. No way. I would never do that. Never.
I did it one time, and I won't ever do it again.
Yeah.
One time. Well, it was one time when I didn't know any better. I had no freaking clue. It was like before September 11th, I remember. Before I woke up. But you know, their last child that they had, they did not get an ultrasound. So
good. You know, and that's why in a lot of states they made it illegal to use midwives, California being one, because they want that baby in there to give them that first hep C shot.
That's right. That's exactly the reasons why they need to create humans that are easily subjugated. And if you're sick to begin with, and can't think right, and you don't have enough brain capacity to fight back, then this is exactly where they want you.
Right, and most autism patients, they're very good at mechanical things. They'll sit and work in a factory assembly line over and over and over. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So really what they're building is just workers.
Yep.
And you know, every mother should think about this. When you take your baby in to get inoculated, why is that baby sick right afterwards?
Yeah.
You know, and now more and more babies are being terribly harmed by this. And you see more and more of it coming out. But how many babies have to go through this before we put a stop to it? Just like Gardasil for girls, that they were fine, they were A1 students, they got the Gardasil shot, and the next day started their symptoms. And a lot of them have Tourette's and all these
Tourette's
Tourette's.
Yeah, and some have died.
But
a lot of them have died, actually. And they're starting. Yeah, it's Gardasil vaccine for girls for what was it? Cervical cancer.
Yeah.
But now they're starting to give it to boys too.
I know, they don't even have a cervix.
No, they don't have a cervix. So what possible reason could you start giving this to boys, other than if you're, you know, wanting to engage in active population control as a eugenicist? That's
right.
That's it. That's the bottom line right there.
in California, our good old Governor Brown, which is bought and paid for, it's obvious, had passed legislation that if a girl's 12 years old, they can give her that shot without her mother or parents' permission, as long as she gives her permission.
Yeah.
But 12-year-old has the insight to know to refuse. It's easily to intimidate or scare a 12-year-old.
Well, not only that, and 12 years old, okay, you can get permission for a deadly vaccine, but, you can't drink. You can't go to have a drink, you know what I mean? Which would be far less likely to harm you if you had like a shot of booze as opposed to this freaking vaccine. So give me a break, man. These people are freaking child abusers, child molesters, child killers as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. And the doctors that continue to do that, I mean, more and more doctors are waking up, but what are they teaching them in schools now? They teach them that cancer isn't such a bad thing. It's just an accepted thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they go at it like that.
Yeah. Don't worry, you're going to get it. You know what I mean? It's not a matter of if, but when. So.
Yeah. So
and we've got the cure for that too. I've got a close buddy that just got diagnosed, damn it, and he went in for his chemotherapy yesterday, and it's just, I wish that I knew what to do. I guess he's already stage 3, stage 4, but what do you do when it becomes that aggressive, that spread throughout the body? I mean,
you go out and get all the information you can on that certain cancer, there's a lot of info out there to start, look at Chong, from Cheech and Chong.
Tommy Chong, he had prostate cancer, yeah.
Yeah, and he licked it.
Well, he did with the Simpson oil. Yes, he did.
Yes, and change of diet. And everybody says, oh, get Simpson oil and you'll be safe.
Well,
you have to change your diet and everything.
My friend's already on the Simpson oil.
Oh, good. And has he changed his whole diet? That's
vital. I have to ask about that.
Right. You need to get back to the most organic, most cleanest foods. You gotta do detoxes. You gotta fight it. Where you have to make your body strong enough to fight it in the first place. And chemo does just the opposite. That's like giving someone who's sick arsenic and thinking they're going to get well.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, I think it's kind of like the same thing that they're doing in Africa with the Ebola patients, where they don't give them food and water. You know what I mean? So they give cancer patients chemotherapy drugs in order to progress their demise.
And when they do that, they don't tell them anything about changing their diet or anything like that. Just come in for chemo.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how many people I've watched that once they get on chemo, they went down, within days, within a week, they're just going down, and they continue to give it to them.
I know, that's what I'm scared of right now.
Everyone is. You know what? It's like what I say, we're all just waiting for our turn with cancer. Yeah, hardly anyone escapes it.
Well, for God's sakes, they're spraying it on our heads.
Mm-hmm. That and our food, our air. Think of something that isn't harmful to the human body that's out there.
Right. It's pretty much everything that's out there. I think sugar is probably one of the worst offenders.
It is.
That's out there. And I was told last week to not ingest any sugar whatsoever, and damn it, I'm having a hard time doing that.
It's hard, but you know what you do? You go mostly organic vegetables, There's a lot. You have to retrain your taste buds to get away from sweets, and it's very hard.
Well, I'm eating cherries right now, and
I've
been eating a lot of blackberries and
grapes.
And grapes. I love grapes, but it all comes from California, and I'm really, really,
Well, if you're buying it out in the market, but even the organic food And me, that's all I buy. I do not go into any supermarket here. I buy all my food at the organic health food store, which has cleaned their shelves of anything that has any pesticides or anything on it. And it is more expensive.
Well, that's not necessarily true anymore, though. They've relaxed organic standards, as was proven by, like, I think Whole Foods got exposed for their quote-unquote organic stuff. That's not exactly organic. It had GMOs in it.
Well, there is one. It's called Cornicade or something like that. If they validate a food, it is 100%. They go out, bi-monthly and check their people's soil and stuff. And their companies are lined up to try and get their stamp on it. But the thing is, okay, say your soil, you use no pesticides or anything. The radiation from Fukushima is all over this country. The chemtrails, that is changing our soil. So they're making it impossible to actually get real food. If you can get as close as you can to it, but how can you get food that isn't exposed to the air?
Absolutely, it's impossible. No, it's not impossible. Greenhouses is the answer to that.
There's still air in the greenhouses, and radiation can go through plastic.
Right.
So really, you you got to try your best, and in any means you can. But it's absolutely avoidable. It's non-avoidable to get some chemicals and stuff in your body. I mean, to find out that, go get a test on your hair and find out how much of the chemicals are in your body.
Oh, I know. I mean, there's really no way to avoid it. I mean, we try. Mm-hmm. We try our hardest to mitigate these things, but when it rains, the radiation comes down. You know what I mean? It's just so. It's so all around us. They've got us pretty much by the balls,
Yeah, and like Clifford Conacarm, he's gotten blood samples from all over the world where people have sent him blood. Mm-hmm. And the Morgellons, everyone has it in their blood. Every blood test he checked, all of them have it in their bloodstream. Just some people's bodies try and reject it, where others it's just accepted. But that's a scary thought.
It is. It's horror. It's horrific.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is something that's never been seen in the human body before.
Right.
And he's done years of research on it. I get his newsletter, and I follow him very closely. And it's really scary. Between him and Dane, you can get the truth. But other than that, we're, like you said, I don't know. I wish somebody would come up with a way that we could, and our young people don't even know to try and combat what's happening to them.
No, they have no clue. And, they're just, it's like we're cattle. You know what I mean? We're just cattle to them. That's all we are.
But your diet does have everything. Remember that school experiment they did when that one cafeteria lady, they changed everything to good, nutritious food, and the whole school changed its attitude. The kids came to school, they were ready to learn, they were alert, they weren't coming to school falling asleep on their desk, and the whole thing changed, and some schools changed with it, but then it kind of just faded away, and nobody paid any more attention.
Well, I mean, that absolutely will happen if a real diet where kids can get real nutrition. I mean, but if you got like the Michelle Obama plan, it's basically a starvation frickin' diet.
Where they make pizza a vegetable.
It's just a bunch of like bread and water.
Mm-hmm. And those two things are usually dangerous for you now, even.
Exactly.
And the fluoride in the water, I know a lot of cities are taking it out now, but I read where this one city, their fluoride was way over what it should be, double the limit of safety.
why the hell would somebody order double the fluoride? I mean, there's no freaking reason for it.
There's no reason for fluoride, period. It does not help your teeth.
Oh, I know that.
You know, and I think most people know now that it is a poison, but they're not doing anything to get it out of their water.
No, not at all. Matter of fact, I'm going to buy water today, and I get water from an Ann Arbor company that literally purifies it, and they take everything out of it, and
they put the minerals back in. Reverse osmosis. Yeah, I get mine up at my health food store, and the first 5 gallons are always free, and then it's 20 cents a gallon. And I haven't drank tap water, and we don't even have fluoride in our water here because we voted it down. But I use that water for cooking. Anything that's going to go on my body from that water, I use that. And I'm lucky that they make it so affordable, you know, here.
Well, I live out in a rural area, so there's no fluoride in the city municipal water here, but
there's other shit.
The minerals and stuff, my God, the calcium levels are just insane here.
Ooh.
Yeah, very high calcium levels.
Yeah. And you know, once you start drinking the reverse osmosis water, I hear that if you do drink, you know, tap water, it's very distinct. But the thing is, we shower still in it, and that we get more of it in our bodies through shower.
Yeah, we were talking about that. My roommate and I were talking about getting a shower filter.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it too. I found some pretty reasonable, you know, where you just attach it onto the head, because I can't afford the whole system.
Yeah.
It costs a lot. But because your pores open up when you're in the shower.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm just glad that there's no fluoride in this municipal water system, but I mean the rest of it. I mean, there's still, you know, the pharmaceutical drugs get in there, and you know, all this other crap. So it's
and you know, our water reserves, where our water plants are and stuff, I've noticed they aren't protected at all. Anyone could go sneak in there and put stuff into your drinking water.
Absolutely.
You know? And I've always thought, wow, what a way to, you know, wipe out so many people, and just like that would be to do that. And yet we don't have...
Jeez, don't give them any ideas.
I'm sure they thought of it, you know. I mean, it's crazy. Like I always thought, you know, flooding our agricultural here, but we're taking care of that ourselves. We don't have to worry about terrorists coming in and destroying our food that way. We just stop giving them water, and then people can't get food.
Right. But the golf courses there are nice and green.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And now, I mean, now they're getting, the water police are really getting, and you know, what gets me about, okay, everyone's allowed so much water before they get fined, you know, and now it's going up to $500 a day if you go over your limit. How do you know when you've reached that limit? There's no way to tell.
There's no meter or anything. Oh, wait! The meter! We gotta put a meter on now.
Yep. That will probably be the next smart meter. Like they're gonna be putting smart meters on people's wells in their own property, saying you can only use this much water.
Right.
When do we say enough?
God knows. People need to stand up as a collective, because, you know, you let a few people do it, then the rest of them just fall and, I don't have time to fight these people.
And, you know, look, okay, we're everywhere I look, we're all concerned about what's going on in the East, right? But why isn't anyone looking inside? What's happening here is getting a little article here, a little article there, but all the headlines and everything is about what's going on across the planet from us. And yeah, I feel for those people, but I feel more for my own people here, that no one talks about it. They always want to talk about what's going on over in the Middle East, and while we're dying here.
Yep. That's right. And like we've been saying, Ebola's already here. You know what I mean?
We have respiratory disease now that's going on. People are still taking their kids to the doctor and getting those inoculations without question. If your doctor says it's okay, he's a god. You follow his. They scare or else they scare you into treatment.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. They scare you into treatment. That's a given.
Yeah.
I mean, people have been taught their whole lives to trust the guys in the white coats. Yeah. What they say goes. They know better. They went to school. You know what I mean?
Jax, the problem with that, it's your own land and stuff, but the people that I know out there that have this huge ranch, they didn't even know they had gone in and put a smart meter on their well. And this
what did Jax say?
Huh?
What did Jax say in the chat room?
Well, he said, hey, if it's my well on my property, keep your effing meter off of his well. But the thing is, just like the smart meters in the neighborhoods, most people don't even know they have one.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got the story about that. I was at my mom's house and they called and asked to put in the meter. I said, do not put a meter in at this address. Our old meter works just fine, and we are not in need of an upgrade. Do not call here again and ask about it. What did they do? They called like 2 or 3 days later, and my mom answered the phone. Oh, sure, we'll take the upgrade.
So yeah, isn't that crazy?
Thing at my mom's house now. It's like, oh, man, I just told them no. What the hell are you doing, Mom? She didn't know. She had no clue.
Yeah, I
upgraded equipment. Oh, it's all brand new. New equipment. They say, we want to put in new equipment. And when people say new equipment, everybody always goes, yeah, I definitely want new equipment. Definitely, that's going to be much better than the old, ratty, broken down stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what people's mindset is. They have no clue that it's going to frickin' help to kill you. Hello?
I know, and people that come and see me, and I've been preaching about it before it even came here, anything saying smart, because it's going to be a form of spying also, let alone the radiation it puts out. And they all knew how serious I was because I had my property locked up. You had to call in order for me to come out and unlock the fence so you could get in with my big sign up there, no smart meter is to be installed here. I was doing this months before they started putting them in, and still they didn't get it, and now they have smart meters.
Did you have one on your house?
Oh, I don't have one. They kept calling and saying, would you please unlock your gate and allow access? But here in the Tea Party, we had started talking about it. So we got our city council to give us an opt-out. And
see, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, we went to city council, and there's quite a few of us that had researched it and found out that the health hazard and the idea that they'll know everything in your home and all, and forewarned people before we even got the notice in our bills that they were going to be putting it on, and we got a opt out. We had PG&E here. They had committee meetings, and we went out, and you had to pay. I don't know why, but in order to keep your meter, you had to pay $200, and then $10 a month is added to your bill.
What?
Yeah.
So your bill went up?
Yeah, but to me, it was worth it. And they say it's because now someone still has to come out and read my meter. But to most of us, it's well worth it. And because my meter is right next to my bed. And I do not want to be hit with radiation the whole time I'm sleeping.
Right.
Let alone that meter tells them when you're home, what time you get up, what time you go to work, and who can't hack a computer? There's a lot of criminals out there that can hack in, and they don't have to worry about being caught because they know when you're leaving and whatever.
Boy, it would be interesting if you said the power went out there not too long ago, huh?
Yeah, day before yesterday.
Yeah, okay.
Man, but they don't need the power. It's all, their meters cannot And if you don't know if you have a smart meter, go out, and if you have that little Wi-Fi symbol on it, it's a smart meter.
Oh, yeah. Or if it's a digital reading.
Well, no, they have digital analog. I found that out, analog meters. So just because it's digital doesn't mean it's Wi-Fi, but if it has that little symbol down there, that little speaker-like symbol, then you have a smart meter. And like this is a good selling point that they used on people. You can go online and look and see what is using
your
the
usage.
most
Yeah. It's a good
and then nobody goes, wow, well, if I can see, then somebody else can see.
That's right. Absolutely.
And like your shower, then now as far as I know, there is no smart meters on residential water. But the way they can tell if you're in the shower or whatever is your water heater.
Right.
Yeah, and even on both meters, my gas meter and my electric meter, they're both sealed, locked with this stamped thing that says opt out. But
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, but most cities, I mean, I've seen videos where they actually had the sheriffs going out to people's homes with them and making the customers allow them to put this on their house. And then they tell you it can't be taken off and the analog put back on. Well, that's a lie, too.
Well, sure, it's a lie. Absolutely.
So, I mean, and if you can fight them, you can force them to take off the smart meter, but you have to, it's a hell of a fight. It's so much. I don't know what the percentage of homes now have smart meters, but I think it's a pretty large percentage all across the country.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And the thing...
I don't have one on this. We don't have one here.
You don't?
That's what's really cool. It's still the old-fashioned disc spinny, thing.
Yeah, the analog.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think that it's great. You know what I mean? I think it's a wonderful thing.
Is it just at your home or in the area that they don't have them?
The whole area doesn't have it.
Then you guys should get to your city council and make sure that you have an opt-out before they get there. Don't wait, because they come at all hours when you're not home, and they will climb fences to put it on your house.
Yeah, it's pretty accessible too, actually.
I would rally as many people as possible and go to your city council and force them to go to your power company if it's not owned by the city and get a opt-out, because that's the only way you're going to stop them. The only way.
Or I should call the power company and see if they have any intentions on...
Well, do you read the little things that they always put in your bills? They're always, telling you this or that. You will get a notice in that, but most people don't read them.
I don't read them.
Yeah, I do. I read everything in my phone bill, my PG&E bill. I want to know what they're up to. And that's how I was able to warn people ahead of time that the smart meter was coming.
Right.
But if you don't want it, get them to give you an opt-out, because if you don't have an opt-out in advance, you're going to get one on your home. And if it's near your bedroom, you're going to get radiated all night long.
Yeah, that's a bad deal.
Take it upon yourself. Get in there. Get some people, write a letter to the editor after you find out if they have intentions. But even when they do have intentions, they only have to give you so much time notice. And, I would get busy on that. Yeah,
absolutely. And God knows I've got the friends to rally around to do that, too.
And I have, I have lots of information on it. I will send it to you in Skype, and it's good facts that you can use to show people. It's so much better when you have something you can handle. And plus, I have some videos also on it for the lazy people that won't, read, that will show them what it does and how dangerous it can be for them. And get it to your city council. And then they can call upon your power company. I don't know if yours is local city or if it's like big PG&E and stuff, but they have to answer the issue if it's brought up to them.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I thank you for that.
You're gonna get it. If you do nothing, you will one day go out and check your meter, and it's gonna be a smart meter, because they don't come in and tell you, "Oh, we put a smart meter in."
Right.
So, yeah. I immediately, I mean, as soon as, because I had looked into technocracy, and that's where all this came from. Was back in the 30s, and they outlined exactly what's going on with the smart meter, but they didn't have the technology. And you know, it's only been like within 5 years that they started putting the smart meter in, and they have it all over the world.
Oh yeah. Well, they've got to get a handle on it, and with a flick of a switch, they can turn everybody's power off too.
That's right. And what I was telling people is, I don't care how much money you have, and if your bill is over the amount they think, they can shut it off. Like my neighbor, they called her and said, you are using too much power during the main hours, like the grid's being used, don't wash clothes and stuff. Yeah, at this hour. And they actually told her, because she had smart meters, they told her, if you don't cut down, we will cut you down.
See, that's exactly what the kind of controls they're imposing with through these smart meters. That's the exact control. Right. They're going to soon say you cannot go over this limit, or you will get shut down, or we will control what you use.
Right, and in technology,
exactly it.
Their main thing was from there, and they've already tried it. They want to go to carbon economy for our currency, because everything takes energy to produce, no matter what it is. Even eating food makes energy for your body to move, and everything. And they want to do, and it's kind of like that movie. I don't know how many people have seen it, but Time Out, where when you're born, this is their main goal. When you're born, you are allotted so many carbon credits to use up through your whole life, and that's everything you use. And so you have to keep control, because when you have used up your allotted amount of carbon credits, and get this, it will be run by computers, not humans with emotions or feelings. You use up your carbon credits, you get shut off. You won't be able to buy food or do anything, and you will die.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I think, what their plan is. And I think Obama's got a few executive orders in the wings waiting to sign in terms of this carbon shit, too.
Well, yeah, they tried putting out their carbon tax already, and that's the one thing. But I keep telling people, go back, and there's plenty of info on it now out there, and look into technocracy. We are following what they wanted to do and their plan almost to the letter. And the scariest thing is, it will be controlled by a computer, which only will go by the logic. No heart, no emotions. It doesn't matter if it's killing human beings. It's doing what it's programmed to do.
Exactly.
And this is close. I've been yelling this for years to people. Just look. You have a chance to stop it. Smart meter's one step. In fact, it's a big step. If you can keep that smart meter off, it tells them everything about your body, about what you do every single day.
That's right.
And, it's like having a spy right in your house.
Well, yeah, that is the spy in the house, actually. Mm-hmm. And then, when you start upgrading your appliances, like your computer, your stove, your dishwasher, it's all going to freaking start talking to that damn smart meter, and they're all going to start conversing.
Exactly, and your phone also communicates with everything, so they know what you're doing when you're home, when you're gone. And then if the carbon credits come in, they don't physically have to come out and hurt you. All they have to do is cut off all your money won't be accepted anywhere.
Right.
And people aren't going, you can't, and also you can't give away, trade, or leave it to, you can't transfer carbon credits at all. When yours is up, it's up.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a scary thing, but you know what? And I keep seeing the things, and it really scares me, because I've been following this, and then I look out and I'm seeing it. When they said carbon tax, I get this rush, like, oh my God, and no one's paying attention.
Nobody knows what it means when they say that.
Right. They just think, carbon tax. Oh, well, if we're producing some carbon out there, they're going to tax us. But that's not the point at all.
No, that's not what happens. It's, yeah.
Yep.
Yup, absolutely. And the Queen with her stupid little carbon footprints. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. We need the carbon. Carbon is isn't carbon like part of life itself on planet Earth?
Well,
without carbon, I think nothing would be here.
They take it in and then produce oxygen.
Right. I think that, yeah, exactly. Without carbon, I don't think life on this planet would even be here. So
no, it wouldn't. But they've turned it into a bad thing. And anyone who took any science at all knows that you have to have it for the plants to produce the oxygen. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how they got in. I mean, first time I heard them start talking about this, about 10 years ago, I kept scratching my head going, wait a minute, carbon is one of the things we need on this planet so that the plants can produce oxygen so we can live. How can they say it's a bad thing?
That's right.
But
that's what they always do. They always take the good and turn it into bad, and take the bad and turn it into good. That's what they do. That's what
mercury's good for you. Fluoride helps you have not have
exactly. Exactly.
I mean, and there's a long, long list.
Oh yeah.
The fluoride. I mean, just because people can't put two and two together in their head, we can blame fluoride for that. They started with the fluoride to dumb people down or make it hard or confusing or hard to, bring all your thoughts together to rebel.
Oh, sure. And, man, absolutely. Well, let's, maybe go in a different realm here.
Well, it's something that needs to be looked at by every single person instead of worrying about the Middle East. Worry about life, period. Are your kids, how long are they going to be able to live with the radiation hitting them through the smart meters and through the air they breathe and the chemtrails, Alzheimer's and the inoculations? People need to look at their everyday life and start working on that.
That's true.
To stop anything.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, so anyway, that's enough of my rant, my tyrant. It frustrates me that I can't make people understand how vital it is to look, charity begins at home. You can't help others if you're not healthy.
Right, that's right.
So
that's exactly right.
Okay, your turn.
Let's see. Here's an article that actually is in California, so it's in your neck of the woods,
of course,
right over there. This kind of blew my mind when I heard it. I didn't even think it was real. I thought it was maybe an Onion article or something that was. And this thing refreshes again. Okay. It says, city mandates free medical marijuana for low-income residents. I thought this was a freaking joke when I heard about it.
I seen the headlines. I didn't read it.
Oh my God! It's by Faux News Network, of course. It says weed welfare. That's what the Berkeley City Council in California has unanimously approved, ordering medical marijuana dispensaries to donate 2% of their stash to patients making less than $32,000 a year.
That's great.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I don't know if that's so great.
Well,
to tell you the truth.
But yet it's still against federal law.
Huh?
It's still against federal law, so they can still come in and bust the people that get it free.
Yeah. Here, all right, let me keep reading. The new welfare program in the liberal-leaning city is set to launch in August of 2015, so next year. The ordinance, which passed in August, is the first of its kind in the country, comes at a time when several states are now debating how to handle a growing movement to legalize marijuana for both medical and recreational use. But Berkeley's decision to effectively order weed redistribution is prompting a vocal backlash. Bishop Ron Allen, a former addict and head of the international faith-based coalition told Fox News he doesn't understand why the California city would want to dump pot on the impoverished. I don't know about that. It's ludicrous, over-the-top madness, Allen said. Why would Berkeley City Council want to keep their poverty-stricken underserved high in poverty and lethargic? It doesn't even make sense. John Lovell, a lobbyist for the California Narcotics Officers Association, agrees. Of course, well, these people, of course, are going to, instead of taking steps to help the most economically vulnerable residents get out of that state, the city has said, let's just get everybody high.
Yeah.
Lowell told New York Times, but others like Mason Tvert, director of communications at the Marijuana Policy Project, says it's a community program. Tvert told Faux News that the decision to provide the drug to some of its low-income residents is up to the community. So it's a matter of the democratic process. Yeah, right. People following state's laws, and this law appears to accommodate both of those. California was the first state to legalize marijuana nearly 20 years ago. California dispensaries are prohibited by law from turning a profit, but some places have been giving pot away to patients who couldn't pay for years. Oh, okay. Well, then that's fine then. One of Berkeley's largest dispensaries, Berkeley's Patient Groups, has been doing it for a decade. Oh, all right. I didn't know that. The New York Times reports one recipient, Ann Passman, a poet activist, says she couldn't remember exactly how long it's been since he had been given medical marijuana or why. It could be for my allergies or for my arthritis. You know what happens to us folks, we forget, Passman 78 told the newspaper. Okay, and I should have had this going. Ugh. My goodness.
What?
Oh my god, these freaking pop-ups are crazy.
Oh, I know, they drive you nuts.
And now they're saying important security message. I hope that didn't
ignore all of them.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now I gotta find my place where I was here. Oh, that was it.
Oh, okay. Well, next time you get a pop-up like that, look down on your toolbar, right-click it, and close it. It's easier that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, or just right-click, bring up your task manager, and keep it in the background. When one pops up, you can just pull that up and shut it off.
The chat room keeps crashing every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
my computer's going crazy. Oh my god! All right,
I know.
It's hard for me to even open up new windows or anything. We're gonna have to go for the next 20 minutes without any more articles from me. Because
oh no, and I've hit most of mine. There was this one that, going back to the police and stuff, this one guy, what he did was really cool because he stood his ground, and more and more law enforcement are coming to the conclusion that they can be filmed. You know, but this guy, I'll read this article because I found it good, and it's a good way of standing up for your rights without really putting yourself in too much danger. And it says, a video recently uploaded to Facebook shows a man demanding a search warrant of police officers at his door who claim the man could be harboring a criminal. Police in the U.S. are generally required to have a search warrant to enter a home. Emil Amaro, according to the freethoughtproject.com, recorded every moment of his interaction with two officers of the local sheriff's department. The officers said they were seeking a wanted felon who allegedly beaten a woman in the apartment complex where Emil lives. Police immediately asked Emil multiple times to turn off his camera. Each time Emil refused as his right. Emil then asked for identification of the two officers, to which one amused officer asked, "Do you want to play games?" Emil responded, "I'm not playing games." The officer then says, "I'm going to drag you out if you," before stopping, to which Emil quickly replied, "That's why I'm recording this, straight to YouTube." Emil said only he and his family were in his house and that he saw the alleged criminal walk off. Police repeatedly asked for Emil's proof of identification, which he refused each time, and in turn asked police for their own identification. Some U.S. states do not require proof of identification unless one is driving a vehicle and the officer has reasonable suspicion of a crime or traffic violation. Emil continued to insist that he was not harboring a fugitive and that police did not have probable cause. Police finally relented after Emil repeated that they must get a search warrant before entering. While law enforcement in the U.S. are usually required to obtain a search warrant to enter one's home, there are circumstances that supersede demand for a search warrant. Those instances include when the consent to enter is given by an occupant during an incident of arrest, or in exigent circumstances when there is an immediate threat or danger of injury or destruction of evidence. In February, the U.S. Supreme Court allowed law enforcement much more power, ruling that police may search a home without obtaining a warrant despite the objection of one occupant if that occupant has been removed from the premises. Now, none of those things applied here. And the one thing that the guy did right was when he asked the policeman, "I want to see 3 forms of identification that prove you are a police officer," because you could be anyone dressed up as a police officer. And he was right to say, "Do you suspect me of a crime?" And they're saying, "Why can't you let us just go on with our job and let us in your home?" Well, because it's my home and I don't have to and get a warrant, and I already told you that the guy went that way. And then they said, "Well, somebody said they seen him come here." And the guy goes, "Who said that?" They wouldn't respond. And another thing is police cannot get a search warrant on he said, she said. A search warrant sent to them. So he handled it well because finally the one cop, he just said, "Okay, have a good evening." And then they left. And he closed the door. But the one thing he should have had was a protective screen because they could have forced their way in. I think I would have my security screen between me and them before I'd be brave enough to do what this man did. But he stood on his rights, and he had the right responses. And police have to show proof that they are the police, not the fact that they're just in a uniform. Because anyone, the public can get a uniform. So that's something to always remember, too. I want to see proof. And then another thing, to delay them, you can ask for their badge number and say, "Okay, wait a minute, I'm going to call and verify that you are who you are." Those are just some ways. But he handled it very well, I think, and with each response, he knew the right answer, which the police had to accept. So that was one for the people, I think. Every time that someone stands up to the police and it works, that's good. But then there are the cases where you stand up to them and you end up dead. So it's going to be a personal decision there, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't. Did you read this the other day?
What?
This article?
No, this just came out today.
Oh, okay.
September 4th.
These things happen so often, and they parallel each other like so much. It's like one runs into the other, and you can't distinguish between. I mean, the only difference is geographic location.
Right, and I'd like to see the IMAC report that went out to all police stations after the Ferguson thing, because I bet you anything they were told to back off a little, because the public is more aware now of their tactics and stuff.
Right.
That's just my thought, because there seems to be a slowdown in the police's aggressiveness, I've noticed.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, Anger management.
Yeah.
That might be part of the curriculum. I don't know. They could be. Who knows? I don't really see it in my area. I really don't. I live in a little rural town, so I really don't see that much of crap going on between the cops and the citizens. I just don't see it a whole lot. Yeah, but then I don't have a freaking sheriff that burned down my house either.
Right.
So
No. Yeah, Reading, it's a larger city, but I follow the whole area here. Plus, State of Jefferson does a lot of reporting to us, sends us newsletters and tells us what's going on and stuff,
Hey, did you pay attention to that State of Jefferson show that was on?
I was asleep. I wanted to catch it. But I follow. I mean, I'm involved. I have my flag and everything else and go to the meetings.
I'm sure there's like archives on the...
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Jules always puts up archives.
Yeah. But more and more counties, I'm telling you, they're every day there's more that are for it because people are so fed up.
You know, maybe if you find out who that talk show host is, maybe he could come on and you could like interview him on this show.
You mean Mark? Yeah, the spokesman for the State of Jefferson.
Is that got the show on UCY?
No, that's Drew. Drew and Chuck. They are involved in it.
Oh, that's awesome. Drew's awesome. I really like Drew a lot.
Oh, he is. And I still have to make it up to Ashland to see his farm up there. But I'm having car problems now. And now's when the weather's nice enough to go up.
Right. And he's got an entire, what do they call that? The aquaponics?
Yeah, he sells to all the major restaurants up there. I mean, there's such a demand for his food because it's so clean.
Nice. See?
Yeah, and he even offers other people, he will teach them if they will grow for him because he's having a hard time fulfilling all the orders. I mean, people are backing up to get his food.
Wow. See, now that's an example. And he's a young guy, too. Like in his
No. He sounds young, but he's an older gentleman.
Drew Lamb?
Yes, it cracks me up when people go...
Are you kidding me? He sounds like he's 24 years old.
I know, and it cracks me up when people go, well, young man, and he goes, excuse me, I'm not a young man, you know?
No way! How old is he?
I can't remember. I know he's over 40.
No freaking way in hell.
Sounds like a youngster, I know.
Oh my god, he sounds like almost a teenager.
I know.
That blows my mind. I'm like officially going out of water here, guys.
Yeah, I listen to his, I catch his show whenever I can because he's on, it's later in the evening for you guys.
Well,
but for
he
me,
also does
it's 6 o'clock.
Journey on Saturdays after Dane's show.
Do what?
He also does Off-Grid Journey after Dane's show on Saturdays.
Yeah, I get emails from him for that too. But yeah, I followed him. He, you know, we stay in touch a lot too because I send him emails and he sends me emails about things that are going on up here. But yeah, they were in at the beginning of the State of Jefferson.
I completely stand corrected because I think I've actually called him a young man even on air once.
Well, I know, and then it cracks me up when someone will say, well, you know, you're just a young kid. And I'll hear Drew go, excuse me? But he does. He sounds like a, 20-year-old or 15-year-old.
Well, maybe he's got a young soul.
He does. I think he does. I mean, he's awesome. And, they're involved in, like, open carry for guns.
Nice.
I mean, their show's really good. I love it. I like their show. And they do well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't caught it lately. I've been so busy with getting everything, yard and my garden pulled up and all that stuff. I've been outside a lot. So, and I try and get away from the computer some because I was getting to the point where I was spending, a day would go by and I'd go, what did I do? I never left this room.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. It's very unhealthy for me. So I've been making it a point to shut down the computer and go outside and go do something and get,
get stuff done.
Yeah, I have to, because, I mean, I was spending I try and keep up with everything that's going on you see why and stuff, but I have to think about my health, too, or I can't go on.
Oh, that's right. That's correct.
And I'm not a very good schedule keeper. I am impulse doer. And so I have to train myself to do things. And so this has been getting out from behind the computer, which is not good for your eyes to be watching it all day. And, and there's still a life out there. This is important what we do, and it is important to stay informed. I'm not saying that. And you should catch as many shows as you can, but maybe, go outside for an hour to do something. When one of the non-live shows are on or something. But, yeah, you got to still get your vitamin D, even though it's through chemtrail skies. You still need that natural vitamin D.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I go out there as much as I can, so... Oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to bring anything up in a timely fashion.
Well, we're almost at the end of the show now.
Well, no, I'm talking about as far as like the schedule of the shows.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Zori.
That's no problem. I'll bring it up and I'll do it. But another thing. Oh God, no. What was it? I lost my train of thought.
Oh shit.
I can't remember. God, Dodie, come on. What is it? Okay. Talk for a second.
Oh. Well, it's Friday, and it's the end of the week. I'm going to have a pretty cool weekend. I'm kind of excited.
Okay, I'm back. I had it because I knew that it was going to come over air, the feedback, when I went to the schedule page.
Oh, yes. Oh. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Coming up today, and I love this guy, even if it isn't live, is Behind the Woodshed with Hal Anthony.
Oh, Hal's great.
Oh, yeah, and the information he gives you is still vital today. I just love the show.
I remember him reading the Protocols of Zion. That was
hardcore. He's so wide. His knowledge is so vast, and he hits on so many subjects. So anyway, he comes up at 11 before the first cup. Then we have John Stokes at 1 p.m. And then the next live show is at 6 p.m. with Anti-Tyranny News Radio with Josh. And then at 11 p.m. is the Anti-Media Radio with Nick Burnaby. I like that show too. And for me, that's on early. It's not on real late at night.
Oh, I see. Right. So you're able to hear it. See, it's on at 11 tonight for me, and most likely, since I have to get up to go to the farmer's market tomorrow morning, I'm going to be in bed by that time. So
right, and mine, I hear them at 8 o'clock.
Oh my God, it's going to be so stay tuned to UCY.TV for awesome programs, guys.
And during those shows that aren't live, get an hour of sun in there.
Yeah, and check out the sponsors too, man. I mean, just, get a little bit of something coming in there for Jules. I mean, a little bit of help, please. It's just a click away. So check out the
you buy on Amazon, just to get there, all you have to do is come to UCY.TV and you'll see that A up there. Hit that, and then that's it. You're in Amazon. It's just one little diversion, but yet we get a percentage if you purchase something.
Yeah, well, I went in there underneath the chat room and actually purchased some of Jules' picks, and oh my God, they're great. I mean, I started getting the ginger root capsules, and damn, I'm noticing like a difference. It's really awesome. Yeah. And I got the curcumin, and it's neat. It's just fantastic stuff.
I got a new trick for people. I love coming up with these. When you want to use fresh garlic, and you're trying to peel it with a knife to get all this stuff off? Mm-hmm. What you do is take it doesn't have to be two bowls. One should be metal if you can, that are the same size. Mm-hmm. Put your whole a whole thing of garlic in there, and then hold them tightly together and shake it. Just keep shaking it to where it's bouncing off the edge. Mm-hmm. It takes all the skin off. It leaves you the raw garlic
Really?
clove. Yep. No cutting, no nothing. Just keep shaking it, and it just completely takes off all the skin.
Shake it? Like, how are you shaking it?
You put it garlic in a bowl.
Oh, in a
then
bowl?
put another bowl the same size on top of that bowl. Hold the two bowls together and shake it back and forth. You'll hear it.
You use like a mason jar?
Any jar.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I have one metal jar and one soup bowl that are, they match up perfect. Because I did it yesterday for the soup I was going to do. And because I heard from someone to do this. And I held them together and I started shaking it and shaking it. And when I opened it up, I seen garlic there without the skin.
So did you put them in as an entire bulb or the individual
the entire bulb?
The entire bulb you can do this with?
Yes. I just took the whole bulb, put it in there, and shook it really hard. You can hear it banging on each side.
Yeah.
And it only takes a couple minutes at the most. And then I opened it up, and I looked, and I went, oh, my God.
Wow. Dude, I'm going to try that in a minute. I'm going to try that.
Yes,
that's
it's good to know these little things. That's trying to skin a garlic is a pain in the, you know what?
Oh, it really is.
Yeah. So that'll work, and that's Dodie's tip. And
yay, Dodie's tip for the week.
Yeah, get rid of that old knife that you were trying to cut off all that skin. Just shake it.
Cool.
And it works.
Well, right on. I'm going to have to try that, because I've got a couple of bulbs here that my friend gave me right from his garden.
Yeah, throw them in there and
check it
out. And at one point I was having trouble. I have small hands holding them together, because if you don't hold them right together, the skin start flying out the side.
Oh.
So I just went in and got some tape, Scotch tape, and taped it in 4 spots and together, and it was easy. I shook it really easy.
Jar work better for that? I mean, shit, you just put the damn top on and start shaking it.
Try it. I don't know. The only way I know is the bowl. They have to have plenty of room for shaking around, I know, but try it.
Interesting.
As long as they're just getting shook. I mean, I was just blown away, because I'll try almost anything they tell me that works, to make your job easier in the kitchen and stuff. And it really, really worked.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there we go with the tip for the week.
Yeah. I'm going to try it on ginger and see if it'll skin ginger. I hate trying to skin my ginger.
I don't know if it'll work. That's pretty hardcore. Garlic, I mean, those little things fall off of it, but ginger, that's a different story. Well, let us know if it works.
I will let you know.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for being on today.
And thank you all you chatters for being with us. We love you to death.
Yeah, we do. Thank you, chatters, and you guys all have a great weekend now.
Go out and raise hell.
That's right.
Can't be good all the time. Love you guys. Bye.
You guys take care. Have a great week. See you Monday.